Welcome back to our next lecture on learning Autodesk Inventor. In this video we are going to continue with an example, and we are going to learn how to use the constraint tool and the join tool. So in order to create an assembly, we first need to have some parts. But I'm not going to go and create the parts by myself because that would take us just too much time. So I went on a GrabCAD community and I chose an example. So here are my files. I saved them on my D drive, and these are all the necessary parts to create an assembly. As you can see, here's the already existing assembly, but we are going to do it again, and we are going to start from scratch. Okay, so before we begin, just like always, we have to create a project. So go and click New, Next, give it a name. Let's call this Benchwise. And of course, you will need to choose your folder where you saved it. Mine is on D, and so this is the folder. Select it, hit OK, and click Finish. Now it is done, and now we can go and start a assembly. Okay, so now we can continue and make the assembly. But to make it more easy for us, we can just go here and open this existing assembly. And so as you can see, this is the part which we're gonna make. So to make it much easier for us, I'm gonna leave this open, and sometimes we need to take a look how it actually looks like and how it is done. Alright, so let's begin. First, we have to go here, click, and you always start from the base. So that's much more easy. So let's select the base and hit open. Zoom a little bit out. And let's best hit the home view here. And OK. Now I want to rotate it a little bit. Rotate it by 90 degrees around the x-axis. And now just hit place grounded at the origin. OK, so that's done. Now right click, you can either choose escape or OK. Okay, so what do we need to do next? Let's just go and take a look here. So we need to add these two at the bottom. Let's go here, again go place, and choose the base plate here. Open, you're gonna need two of them. So we are gonna just click one time here, right click, hit OK. Alright, now what we're gonna do next, I want these to be constrained at this bottom here. So how are we gonna do that? I think this is the bottom, and this is gonna be the part which is gonna be attached to this, because this has some fillets here, some chamfers actually. Okay. So which tool are we going to use? We could use the constraint tool. It wouldn't be a mistake, but we have these holes here and we don't know if they are going to be aligned when we constrain it this side with this side. So it's best if we just use another tool, which is the join tool. And now you can choose here automatic. You can choose rigid, rotational, slider, but these aren't going to rotate anywhere, so let's just choose rigid. Now, so we said that this will be the base, which will be attached to this face here. So we are going to need to select this, the bottom of this circle, and let's say I want this to be with this here, to be aligned. Okay, but now there is a little problem here. I don't want this to interfere with the body, so I'm gonna change the direction. Okay, now it is good, but I also need it to be aligned so vertically. So I'm gonna choose this option here, first alignment, and what I'm gonna do is I want this face, or let's just say this line because we don't know. Let's select that edge to be aligned with this edge, or with the other edge here. You have to figure out which is the right way. Okay, with this edge here, and select the edge. Click apply, and now as you can see it is aligned. Let's just click cancel and see if everything went well here. Okay, so the circle is aligned with that circle, and this one is aligned with this one here. So everything seemed to be alright. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the other one. Let's go join, choose rigid. I want this to be aligned with this here. Let's just change the direction. Now I'll make this line and this line here to be aligned, and hit OK. Now I have created these two parts, and they are also they don't have degrees of freedom because I chose the rigid option, so they cannot go anywhere. Okay, now let's go and take again a look if we did everything correct, and I think everything is good. So what we're gonna add next, we need to add this shaft, then this part, we have here another part, and then this and these two. Okay, so I'm gonna first add this and this and this. Okay, so let's go here and place the necessary parts. Okay, let's place this here. I'm gonna rotate it by X here and then Y, and just hit just click with the left button here and then click OK. Now it is placed here. Now we need to add the other parts. Now I will add this. Yes, this is what I was looking for. Let's just place it somewhere because we don't know which will be the direction connected to this face here. I think this is because at the top here we have some chamfers, so the chamfers always will be in the bottom. Now let's we can actually use the constraint tool, but every time you have circles you don't know the exact position, so it's better if we use this tool here. Choose rigid, and okay, I want this bottom of this circle here. Let's just make sure it's the bottom selected to be connected with this here. Okay, now let's let's flip the direction because I don't want it to interfere. And what are we going to need to do? I know that this hole is in the right place, but I want this hole to be aligned with this hole. So how I'm gonna do that? Okay, so this is done. Click OK, and now this cannot move anywhere. But just to show you some other options, I'm gonna delete this and I'm gonna repeat that. I'm gonna do it differently. I want this hole. Let's go and choose the rigid option here. I want this hole to attach with this hole here. Flip the directions, and now I want to choose the align option. I want this face to be aligned with this face here. Just click OK, and now you're done. Okay. So now what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to add this shaft right here. So let's just go and add it. Okay, I see there are two. I'm just gonna use this one here. One click and OK. Now this must be inside here, and this must be a rotational connection, because as you can see we can rotate it here. So we have to do a rotational connection here. Once again we are going to use the join option, but this time not rigid, because then we cannot rotate it. I am going to choose the rotational option. So we know that this, just let me show you, this surface will be at the bottom of inside here. So just let me show you with this one here, and just click that. Now you can see that it can only rotate but not move in the other direction. So let's just click OK. We cannot still illustrate that, but we first need to connect it here. Alright, so how are we gonna put this into this hole here? Let's just go and click join, and now we're not gonna choose rotational, but we're gonna choose cylindrical. Click cylindrical and choose some points. You can edit them, we can add some offsets if you want, but just for now select this middle here and this end of this circle here. And as you can see, now it can rotate, and it also can move in this horizontal direction. Click OK, and now this we end up with this here. Okay. But there is also a problem, because we can move this freely, and that's not good, because this needs to be aligned with the surface here. So in this case we are going to use this constraint here. We're going to select, and then we are going to select the other surface here. Okay, so hit OK, and now we cannot rotate it anymore. So this is good. Now of course we cannot we can stop it interfering with this here, but we're gonna talk about that later when we have finished the whole assembly. We can also add here, let's just show the constraints. We can go and add, we can make some offsets. So we can make in this direction, we can make it 10, we can make it -10, so we can add some limits to it, but let's just not stop on that right now, because we need to add some more things here. We need to add this part right here, and then these two at the ends. Let's just go and repeat that. click place, and I think they're here. Okay, click open. 1, 2, okay, and we are also going to need the stick. Okay, here it is. Open one time and hit OK. Okay, now this will have a rigid connection to this hole here because it doesn't need to move or to rotate. So I'm going to use again the rigid option, select the center here, and as you can see, it needs to be at the center here, but we cannot select it, unfortunately. So I'm gonna just select this surface and I'm gonna give it a offset. Okay, let's make it -10, and now I think it is in the center. Alright, it's approximately in the center. It doesn't matter if it's not. It doesn't play an important role. Just hit OK, and now we have the stick, which we can of course rotate, as you can see here. Now we need to connect these two little spheres, and how are we gonna do that? Once again, by using the rigid option here. Select this surface here, and then this end here. Now I want to flip it to be like this. Okay, this one is done here, and I want to do the same thing with the other one here. Select rigid, select this surface here, and okay, I can choose the other side if I want it. So for example, this side, and just flip the direction if it's not correct. Hit OK, and here we are. So now we just need to add the bolts. Yes, because this is actually this doesn't move, so whoever designed this had made a rigid connection with this and this. So we just need to add these. Now I'm gonna go and choose all the necessary options. I'm gonna add this, hit OK, and now what am I gonna do? I can choose here, constrain. I can choose this here, select this bigger diameter and this here, and just click OK. Now it is connected. And we just do the same thing with all of these here. Let's just find them. Okay, I think these are for this part here. We need 4 of them, and we need 2 of these. Okay, we need 2. Oops. Okay. Now I'm just going to add this here. I think these are added here. They are pretty weird added. This is not good, but we're just gonna do it. So how are these connected? Let's use a rigid tool. We can use a rotational tool, but we don't want them to rotate, so I'm gonna use the rigid here. select this center here and this surface here. So click apply and do the same thing with this here. And I think we are done. Click OK. We are done with these two. Now we need to do the same with these four. Once again, go automatic, click rigid. Make sure you select the center of it and select this here. Nope. Change the direction, click apply. Do the same with this here. And here, I think we need to change the direction, apply. Once again, this here. Again, change the direction. And the last one is right here. Okay. I think now we are finished with it. Let's just take a look if we did everything correct. I think everything looks just fine. Alright, we can just go ahead and save it, but the original one is already there. We can just add bench vice 2. Okay. And now it is saved. If we go to the folder here, we can see two of these. So this was the original one, and this is the one that we created. Okay. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next lecture. Goodbye.